Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is Tuesday, February 21st. We are doing our Healy overview and demonstration here. We're going to show you everything about this amazing little device and including the pricing. We're going to do a demonstration where you get to see how it works and what you do and how you interact with it. It should really give you a lot of good information so that you can decide if the Healy is something that would be good for you and your family. This is a great way of doing holistic support for your body. We will tell you right up front that we can't say that the Healy cures or mitigates any disease, but what we know is that if you give your body what it needs, the body can heal itself. And we're working at the subatomic level here in the area of frequency and energy and vibration. You may be familiar with these two quotes by two famous quantum physicists from about 100 years ago. We had Nikola Tesla that says, if you want to understand the secrets to the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And Albert Einstein said, the future of medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. So isn't that cool that even 100 years ago, quantum physicists understood this concept, and over the last 100 years, it's developed into, the culmination, I believe, is this little amazing Healy. So over time, there have been large devices like a Rife machine that does microcurrent frequency. There's a lot of other devices out there today, but they're usually large and bulky, and they cost tens of thousands of dollars. And a practitioner will use that in their office. You'll go there and pay them $100 or $150 just to do one frequency medicine session. So the concept of the Healy is that the average person can have frequencies, and that it's small and portable and wearable, and it's really, really cool. So you're going to get to learn all about that. So let me tell you a little bit first about the company. There is a company called Time Waver that's the parent company, and they have one of these large devices that can cost $20,000 to $40,000, and they've been around about 15 years. Well, about 4 or 5 years ago, they realized, we really want the average person to be able to use frequencies. So they developed the Healy. About 3.5 years ago, it became available worldwide. Well, actually, that's about 4 years ago now. That it became available out of Europe and Germany, and then it went to Australia and part of Asia and so on. It came to the United States in May of 2020, and that's when I learned about it. And it has grown pretty rapidly. There's, a few 100,000 members or people that own Healys now around the world. And the concept of Healy is that someday there'd be 100 million families with a Healy, and that would make a huge impact on the health of the world. And we're talking about physical, mental, and emotional health. So what is this? What is the idea of frequency? Because some of you may be brand new to this concept, and we need a little explanation. So the idea is that every single cell in our body is a little power plant. The cell wall has a cellular voltage to it. And so everything in our body is actually energy and frequency and vibration based on that concept of these little power plants, these trillions of cells in our body. And that creates an EMF field or a bioenergetic field around our body. And that is now known by quantum physicists as the information field, because you can read the information in your bioenergetic field. And this Healy has a little quantum sensor that can ping your field and see which frequencies are out of balance, which ones need some support, and then provide those to your family in 3 ways. Okay, one, as you'll see here, is we plug these wires into the Healy, and just with the little rechargeable battery in the Healy, it is doing microcurrent. So the other end of the wires are going to these wrist electrodes that I have on. And so the frequencies are flowing through the cells and the water in my body. All right, so a second way we can do that is we can take the wires out, and they invented this amazing little thing called the coil. You can see the coil of wire in there, and there's a second one down below, and these are actual Tesla coils. And when you have 2 of them in parallel, that creates something called a 0-point field, and it emanates scalar waves. That's the type of frequency that we're getting, or the energy that we're getting. So we can plug those little prongs in right where the wires would have gone, and now we have a Healy that is wireless. And this is more about influencing the bioenergetic field, so it's a little more subtle than using the wires. And Healy would say to only do about 3 programs a day with the wires. But if you went and did that at a practitioner that had one of those big bulky devices, that's $150 a piece times 3, but you could do 3 a day. With this, with the coil, you can do as many as you want, because this is more subtle. It's balancing the field, which does have an effect internally, but I like to use both. So I can do some with this, and I can do as much as I want with this all day long. You could do 10 or 12 or 15 programs in a day if you want. Most programs are 40 to 60 minutes and on average. And imagine if you had to pay for buy the program, it'd be amazingly expensive. So when practitioners and people that are already energy practitioners or therapists, when they hear about the Healy, they get pretty excited, because not only does it do more than what most of those big devices do, and that it can read your field and show you what you need, but it also costs a whole lot less. Okay, so it's affordable for a person. So let's actually get into a quick demonstration of that. Oh, and I didn't finish kind of my example of what frequency is. So the idea that you have all these different cells in your body have a different resonant frequency. You have hair cells and skin cells and heart cells and liver cells and so on. And they all have a specific frequency or vibration. And if you can emanate energy into that cell at that specific frequency, you get a physical response in the cell that's positive. And so we could have a program in here maybe called liver function or something like that. And it's not just one frequency. There's, I'm sure, the main frequency for the liver, but there's all sorts of other frequencies that might have to do with circulation and energy transfer and holistic support, just lots of different frequencies that'll be in a program that'll all enhance that liver. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually plug the Healy in here, and I'm going to do a quick demonstration of what that looks like and share a little bit about how this has affected me. And then we'll have Ray tell his story and a little bit more, all the things that I forget to say here. Ray can pick up the slack for me. So what I'm going to do is I just turn on the Healy. The reason I have it clipped to my shirt is just so it's within that EMF field or that bioenergetic field, so it can read what's going on. You could put it in your pocket if you don't want to have it clipped here, as long as it's just up close to your body. I'm going to share my phone screen. Oh, I'm going to have to take my phone out of my pocket. We can control the Healy from a smartphone. It can be iOS or Android, and it can also be from a tablet. So you'll see here that you're seeing my phone now, and I just go to these apps. These are the main 2 apps that we would use right here, and that's what I want to go over real quick with you. So the Healy app is how you would apply a frequency program using the coil or the wires. I'm going to show you with the wires because I want you to understand how microcurrent works. So it's just connecting by Bluetooth to the Healy. If you're sensitive to Bluetooth and electromagnetic radiation and so on, I can tell you the Healy has its own shielding. It also has specific programs that can help you deal with electrosensitivity and so on. So you don't need to worry about that issue. They've done a lot of things. You can even turn off the Bluetooth chip after you set things up and so on. So I'm going to cancel out of this program called Nerve Harmony. That would have been the most recent one that I had started, and just show you what a lot of these frequency programs are. So we have these different program groups like Gold Cycle. Let me just show you. If I go into one, this one has 7 programs. Pure is about detoxing the body. Release is about pain in the body. This is a specific set of programs made by one of these time waver therapists that have the big $40,000 machine. So you see, we end up with the same programs that go on that big therapist machine without having to pay the big therapist price. But that's just one example of a program group. All of these program groups will have several programs in them. We got pain and stimulation programs, which, by the way, the Healy is FDA Class 2 cleared device for pain, arthritis pain, muscle exertion, the pain due to that. Over in Europe, they have additional medical clearances for things like anxiety and depression and fibromyalgia. So traditional medicine is starting to recognize that certain things can be effective with frequency. They would not recognize the other 300 things that our Healy does, because there's over 300 programs that we can run right in these groups you're seeing here. But we know they work. So it's programs for fitness and job and sleep, mental balance, beauty, skin, bioenergetic harmony 1 and 2. I'll just point out that this Nerve Harmony program is what would come up in the scans I'm going to show you soon as being really resonant with me. And I had numbness in this finger right here, a little bit on my thumb, that was left over from a pinched nerve. And by running this program, whenever the Healy would say, hey, this is something you need to work on, I've regained all that normal feeling back in my hand. And I did some reading on it and heard it might even be a permanent issue, but this has worked. And for me, another one that came up a lot for me was the sciatica nerve. So I would have probably twice a week, I'd have a nice strong flare up where I'd have to sit on the floor and pull my knee over to across my body and try to stretch out that area. Now in 2.5 years, over 2.5 years, I've only had a few very small flare-ups in all that time. And usually when I've been doing something really, really physical, and then it's been very minor compared to what used to happen. So I'm really excited about that. You can see all the types of programs that are here. Let's go on. We have meridians. If you understand the concepts of energy pathways, like they talk about in acupuncture, we have the 7 chakras, which are those 7 energy centers tied to the endocrine system. We have bioenergetic defense. These are the ones that can really help you if you're really sensitive to 5G, 4G, all those radio signals and stuff that are swirling around us. Bioenergetic support. These are really cool. Epigenetic harmonization and youth. These are all about stem cells and human growth hormone and how to keep us young. Deep cycle is detoxing the body really at a deep level, well-being. And then I love these digital nutrition mixtures. We have 6 pages of these, so 72 programs that are all, it's like having a brain supplement or a hair supplement or a skin supplement that they have recorded all the frequency information for the vitamins and minerals and nutrients that are part of that supplement. So we could, there's again 6 pages of these. And then we have Power of 3. That's the last one I show here on my Healy here. So I'm just going to go back and say, let's say we were to run this one for weight. 69-minute program, so it's a little bit longer, but I'll hit start. It showed using the electrodes, or it did say you could also use the coil if you want. It's sending the frequencies right now over to my Healy, and then I can run the program. And so there's dozens or maybe even hundreds of frequencies here. It's starting out with 239 hertz. It's actually reading my field to see which ones of those dozens or hundreds of frequencies I need. So now it's switched to 85.2 hertz. About every 10 seconds, that's going to change. It does say right now that a frequency is generated, but there's no measurable current flowing. I need there to be current. I need it to be flowing through my body. There, it just jumped up to where it could read it. But what I need to do is just increase the intensity down here. Make sure you're not dehydrated, that your skin isn't too dry. You can add a little moisture to your skin if you're not getting that flow, but you need this. So now I have a current flowing through the cells in the water in my body. When I'm up here at 50%, I can feel a little sense of energy in my hands because of the wrist electrodes there. And look what happens if I unplug one. It'll go away, right? It says there's no measurable current. So my body is part of the circuit that we're creating here, and it's sending those frequencies now at 7.3 hertz. Those lower frequencies sometimes need a little extra power. So what I'm actually going to do is put my finger in a little bit of water in my water bottle and just run a little water there, and that will really make it so that you have really good conductivity. So that's just a little trick for you to learn there. All right, so that's the idea of how we run programs. The other cool thing about the Healy, though, is how we can create clients in this Heal Advisor Analyze app. And we can even do remote frequencies a third way called quantum frequencies, where it's a vibrational frequency in the quantum field. So there's a concept known as quantum entanglement, where there is a connection between everything in a quantum field. I don't know if you watch like Ant-Man and the Wasp, they'll get all into this quantum type stuff in those Marvel movies now. And it's really interesting because I was like, as I've been learning and studying Healy, there's some of those concepts are like, oh, that makes sense to me now. But it's really cool. So we can actually even connect to a client, even if they're not in our area, and send frequencies remotely through this quantum field. I'll be honest, that sounded crazy to me when I first heard it. I said, there's no way that can work. But I promise you, I have done this with people. They feel it. They have a positive physical or emotional or mental type result. And it is really cool. So we have aura analysis, where you can scan specifically the chakras and see how the balance of those chakras is affecting you physically, mentally, emotionally. It gives kind of a what they call an aura analysis there. Coaching lets you actually do like life coaching and personal relationships and finances and business and so on. And you can put in intentions and goals, and it'll help remove, it's really geared to help remove a lot of the emotional blockages that might be keeping you from reaching a goal that you have. But resonance analysis is the one I want to share with you today. So you would create yourself as a client. I'll show you if we added a client, it lets you do people or animals or plants, even buildings or vehicles, a group of people, lots of options as far as what kind of energy work we can do. But I'm going to just select myself here, and notice it says, oh, first it has to scan and find the Healy. So I need to turn it on again since I switched to the app. Let me make sure it's blinking. Oh, I think I turned it off. There we go. Turn it on, it'll find the Healy, and I'll connect right here. And then you're going to see it'll say that the focus is with what do I have the greatest resonance now, right there. So we're going to go to all these different databases, and it's basically comparing my bioenergetic field against all the frequencies in these databases full of programs. So for instance, what I would normally do is do this all Healy programs, and that will bring up the program group. So basically, when I'm ready to do the analysis, I just touch that little fingerprint. It's not actually scanning my finger. It's just point of focus to run the scan. And now it's telling me which of those frequency programs are most resonant with me. This is the one called well-being. That just has 3 programs in it: fitness, bioenergetic defense, sleep, and then ones that go with we have a device, a Healy watch, that can do some pretty interesting things as well. I'm just going to give you an example. I would know that these are pretty resonant with me. So there's only 3 in this group. I'm not going to do that scan. But fitness has 7 or 8 programs in it. So what I would do with this information, I know that there's some work I need to do here, and there's work I need to do here and here. And I'm going to go into the fitness ones and now scan deeper. So I go back here and choose myself and go to the database and see all these ones that start with the word Healy are those ones you saw in the other app where I ran the microcurrent. Remember, I did that in digital nutrition mixtures right here, and there were 6 pages of 12 programs, so 72 programs. But all these are those ones you saw: the chakras, the deep cycle, fitness, gold cycle, so on. So I now know that fitness is important right now for my body, and according to the Healy scan. So I'm going to scan within the fitness program that has 8 programs, and it always brings up the top 5. So muscle harmony is number 1, deep relaxation, stamina, performance, and regeneration. This is by far the most resonant at 58% compared to these ones in the 40. So muscle harmony is an important program. So what do I do with this information? Couple things. I can either go over to the other app and pull up the muscle harmony and put on the electrodes or the coil and run that program. I could write down a lot of these different programs and do scans within those other sets that had come up for me and write down those programs. And over the next day or the next week, just focus on those programs, because the Healy senses those imbalances. And this is how I was finding out, that I needed the nerves and the sciatica, that those were things that the Healy sensed way back then. I barely ever get those programs anymore because that has been brought back into balance. So I could go over there and run the muscle harmony program. But the other thing we can do is these quantum type frequencies, where I can go actions, vibrate. I'll lower the transmission duration to just 37 seconds because we didn't want to take up too much time. But what it's doing now, that blue wavy line is always occurring when it's scanning your bioenergetic field. And the reddish wavy line is the information it's sending into your bioenergetic field to balance the energy. And so it's doing both. It's taking the frequencies that are found in all 5 of these programs and scanning to see what you need, and then sending what you do need. And it's different for me than it would be for you if you had the same scan result, because it's in real time adjusting it. And it does the same thing if I were to go over and run that muscle harmony program. As it's putting the frequencies from that program, it chooses them based on what I need at that moment. So it's called IMF, or individualized microcurrent frequencies. This is another thing that puts the Healy light years beyond a lot of these other devices out there that cost tens of thousands of dollars. You can buy a Rife machine for a lot of money and look at a big catalog, and you say you need something for liver, and you just dial it up and it says 228.6 hertz. You turn it on, boop, you just send that one frequency. And it doesn't scan you, it's just sending that frequency. And if you've diagnosed yourself right, maybe you'll get lucky. But with the Healy, we can have it scan and tell you what is most resonant. And we found that over time that this has been effective, right? Ray, I'll let you jump in here and share your story. And that just if you continue to trust the Healy and run those programs, you end up having a long-term positive result, if not an immediate result, like part of your story.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been amazing for me and my family. We found out about this just shortly after you did, about 3 months after it entered into the US market. And what happened for us was my son at the time was 15 years old and he had a major growth spurt. He grew about 6 inches in 8 months, so fast that he has stretch marks on his back. And to watch him walk, it made you feel sorry for him because he described it as if he was walking on Legos. It hurt so bad. And we were going out for vacation to pick up some of my closest friends. And when they saw him get out of the truck, they said, "Hey, we just bought this cool little device. It's from Germany," which to me meant it was quality. And then they said it was cleared here in the US market for chronic and acute pain, arthritis, and muscle soreness only. And it had hundreds of other non medical applications that it could be used for. So they said, "Let's hook him up and see what it can do." I said, "Absolutely, I'm all in," because we spent a lot of money trying to get this kid fixed with chiropractic and massage and pills and vitamins, and nothing worked. So when they hooked him up and they did a scan like what David was showing you, but they scanned specifically in the pain categories, and then they vibrated what he needed out of that category for 20 minutes. And 2 hours later, he was walking normal. So my wife says, "I got to have one of those." And I said, "I agree." So we had one ordered before we ever got back to Missouri. And now I've got a lot of issues personally myself with health because I've been diabetic, type 1 diabetic since I was 16 years old. So 36 years I've had to deal with that awful disease. But because of the Healy and just running the scans and trying to figure out what are the programs that my body needs the most, because it's a bioresonance device. Or biofeedback device. It's actually reading the energy in your body, looking for those low frequencies that are out of balance, out of tune, unhealthy. And it is, I have to tell you, it's the single biggest thing that I've done in 36 years of having that awful disease to reduce the amount of insulin that I take. And we're talking substantial. For me, it was close to 40% my first year in using the Healy. So I don't know all the science behind that, except I've tried everything else under the sun in 36 years to try to help diabetes. We also saw it helping hormones with both of my daughters and my wife, and pain for numerous others. But it has really been life changing, and so much so that not only has it affected our family physically, but also financially. So I was not looking for an opportunity to earn income with this. Uh, I've owned a heating air conditioning company for most of my life, or most of my adult life, and been in that industry for 36 years as well. But within a reasonably short amount of time, we were able to use some of the tools that we put in place to basically replace our income in 10 months. And we've perfected this system to make it easy, no matter what you've done in the past, whether you're brand new to marketing or a highly experienced marketer. We have processes in place to help that along. but we've been blessed and been able to retire from that heating and air conditioning industry and helped so many people. Right now there's still an epidemic going on because of what we found with the pandemic, and people are looking for extra ways to earn income. The cost of living has gone up in the last couple of years by 30 to 50%, depending on what the products and services are. And so people are looking for ways to fill in those gaps for what they are not making at their jobs, because most of those jobs have not given a 30 to 50% increase. Some people don't get raises at all, but many, maybe 3 to 5%, but that still doesn't account for 30 to 50% increase in goods and services. So I was listening to a radio program the other day, and the most recent number I found was there are 60,000 people a month starting a new career, starting a new side hustle, starting a new business just to try to make ends meet. And so there's a perfect opportunity here with Healy, if that makes sense to you. We didn't get started to make money. I actually got started with the financial side just to get some free product, because they said, Ray, if you share this with 3 people, we'll give you another device for free. And we needed more devices in our family because I ended up hogging the thing and was accused of messing with it all the time. So it's literally been a blessing. You can become a customer with this and just experience the benefits of using the Healy, or you can share it with a handful of others and get some free devices or free product, or you can go big like David and I and become a member or partner and do this as a business full time, or start off part time and work your way into full time like what we did. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of options here. You can call it an affiliate program if you wish, like a lot of companies offer out there. You can call it network marketing, whatever you want to call it. It's basically a product coming from the manufacturer going to the end user with a referral person in the middle, and then the manufacturer pays the referral person. That's basically what we do. And you can build a team of leaders on top of that.
Yeah, and we're
So
in over 50 countries around the world. So if you know people around the world, you can build a global business. And you know what's really cool is I do this right from my laptop. My wife and I, we sold our house a year ago in March, and we live in an RV and we travel around the country. And I just work from my laptop. It's awesome. I share Healy and do these Zoom meetings and talk to people. And the last 3 days, I've sold 3 Healys. Just because people want this device. It's that cool. I'm about to go into what they cost and how you get them and so on, but I want to quickly point out something called the Mag Healy. This is another device that we have. It's newer, it's only a few months old, and it creates a magnetic field, and it can do some pretty cool stuff. In fact, let me just share my phone again one more time, and I'm going to show you here in the app that I'm connected to the Mag Healy now. Let's see. It says there it goes. Okay, so we have classic programs. So these would be ones where you'd place them on specific parts of the body and do things like cell harmony, vitality, joints, tiredness, so on. Energy circulation, positive mood, uh, tons of stuff. And then these atmosphere ones I love because you just set the Mag Healy in the room and it creates an atmosphere that enhances study or creativity or office or even prosperity, family harmony. We ran this all day long on Thanksgiving. We ran a lot of family, children playing, while you're eating. The car one is actually designed to neutralize all that electromagnetic radiation that you're sitting inside that car with all the electronics going on, stress and coherence and energy and so on. Then there's ones for water. You can take your water bottle like I do here and just set the Mag Healy on top. And all these 24 different programs are just 10 minutes long for fitness, cell harmony, vagus harmony, the vagus nerve in the brain, fasting programs if you want to do some intermittent fasting, but you put frequencies into the water and then you're drinking frequency on top. So I'm doing a lot. I'm putting this in the water. I'm putting on an atmosphere program. I'm running the Healy. I got multiple things happening at once because I have both devices. Then there's programs here called McMakin. Carolyn McMakin is a getting to be pretty famous chiropractor who does a lot of frequency work. And she does things where she does 2 frequencies at a time. So she's now partnered with Healy and has shared 24 different programs where if you run these, it has 2 frequencies at a time running through the Mag Healy. And again, you'd put somewhere like let's say you did this thalamus harmony. It shows you kind of put it on your chest there and run it this 56-minute program there. Do 2 frequencies at a time and create a resonance effect. So I just wanted to point out what the Mag Healy is because it does talk about that a little bit in my presentation that I want to do now to show you how you get one. So let me share my computer screen and play this little presentation. So here we got the Healy editions and prices. And first, there are 5 different editions of the Healy at 5 price points. So the hardware is exactly the same for every edition. It just means you have, lower price edition is going to have fewer programs and fewer app modules. Higher price editions will have more, but it's the same hardware. So you can actually start with a lower edition and upgrade to a higher one later, and you don't have to get a whole new Healy. It just opens up more of the software. So when you purchase the Healy, you'll get all the things that you need to use it and run it. But you also get 2 weeks to play with it and try it out. This is really important because, you do have to buy it. You got to put it on your credit card or however you want to buy it. We do have even financing plans too. But and it goes from the day you receive your Healy in the mail. So you have a full 2 weeks. You can use it and try it. And if you don't like it, you return it, you get all your money back. These are just examples of all the different Healy program groups and how many programs are in each group. Some of these app modules, an app module just has more functionality than just having a group of programs. Like that digital nutrition that I talked about has 72 programs in it, but it also has a special module where you can do a search for a specific topic that you're interested in. Maybe you have high blood pressure, maybe you have a migraine, you can type in those things and it'll tell you which programs to run, but it will also give you a grocery list of the foods that would be helpful to combat these issues or symptoms that you're having. We talked about the ARA module and the Success Coach module, but we played with that resonance module where I was scanning my field, right? So there's all these different app modules that are potentials and all these different groups that are just programs, as many as 306 different programs that you could have in microcurrent. Plus there's a lot of additional frequency sets in that resonance module where you can do the vibrational frequencies. So these are the different editions at their normal pricing. Healy normally has some kind of special with some of their products, and there is a pretty significant one going on right now. I'll show you the pricing in just a second. But if they weren't on sale, you'd have the Healy Gold where it's $500. And that just has 11 programs in the Gold Cycle, bioenergetic support, and the 2 main FDA cleared pain programs. And this expert program page is really cool. You'll see that's with all of them, that you can actually work with one of these time waiver therapists that have the big $40,000 machine, and they can make custom programs for you, or they have programs that they've created that they've created for different situations. You won't see disease names in the program names of the Healy because it's we're not claiming to cure disease. But these therapists and practitioners with the time waiver device, they can give you specific programs for a specific disease or something. Okay, so Healy Holistic, when you jump up there to $1,000, that's 63 programs, and we've just added these sets, the Meridians, Bioenergetic Harmony. These are the ones that had those nerve programs for me. When you go to Resonance, we add the Chakras and Fitness and the rest of the pain programs, Sleep, Power of 3. All those are program groups. We're up to 98 microcurrent programs, but this is where you get that Resonance module like I was doing the scan. So I highly recommend trying to start at Resonance or higher. Resonance Plus, now we've added the Deep Cycle, Learning, Skin, and the ARA module and that Success Coach module that we talked about. And if you go to Professional, now you have 229 different Healy programs for microcurrent. and 6 modules. So we've added the digital nutrition and that bioenergetic vitalization, where you do the stem cells and so on, keep us young. So you can see the normal pricing as much as $4,000 for this professional. But what they've been doing for the month of February, they had doing 40% off the Resonance, Resonance Plus, and Professional. But then they just last week they announced they're going to do 60% off, and it was only supposed to go till today, earlier today at midnight in London is when that canceled. But then we got a text saying that they went ahead and decided to extend this sale on the professional until the 28th, till the end of the month. So you can still take advantage of this if you've heard about this and you were like, oh, I couldn't get it figured out in time to take advantage of that 60% off. We can do that until the 28th. And you can offer that to people. If you want to take advantage of referring people and earning commissions and earning free devices, why not be able to offer them 60% off? So here's the pricing with the 40% off on the Resonance and Resonance Plus and 60% off the Professional. So the Professional edition now is just $1,600 instead of $4,000 until, I got to change this one to say through the 28th. So it's only $100 more than the Resonance Plus, and you're getting almost twice the program. So no reason to get a Resonance Plus right now, right? Just get that extra $100 and do the Professional. The Resonance is actually cheaper than the Holistic, so don't buy a Holistic. Just get the Resonance because it's 40% off. But I would go with the Professional if you can. And the Healy Coil is an additional charge because it's an accessory you add on to your Healy. That's about $225, and I really recommend getting this. It allows you to run so many more programs in a day and with a lot more convenience. If you're going places where these wires are not, that's not something you want to have hanging off of you because you're at a certain place or a store or whatever. You can run the coil and just stick it in your pocket and run frequency programs all day long from your phone. We do have the ability to become a Healy World member, and that doesn't cost anything, but that's becoming part of the network marketing company side of what Healy does, so that you can build a business promoting this technology. And I tell you, I've done some of this network marketing over the years, did some stuff in my 20s. I gave it up on my 40s. I did something in my 30s. In my 40s, I worked with another company and did pretty well. But then when I came across the Healy, now this is my full-time business. And for me, the job I quit to start pursuing this type of a business, I've almost tripled my income from what I was earning 2.5 years ago or 3 years ago now. So you can earn commissions for referring others, extra commissions, free Healy device. And right now I'll show you a couple other promotions they're doing. Here's the Healy with the current pricing. And the Mag Healy, it's newer, it's not discounted, and it's almost $3,000. They've actually told us they will never discount the Mag Healy, just so you know that. And but that might be something you want to look at, especially if you're thinking of doing this as a business. It would be smart to have both. There is a cool promotion right now I didn't put on the screen, where if you buy a Mag Healy for $29.90 plus tax, they give you a Resonance Plus for free, which normally is $2,500, but with the discount right now it's $1,500. Some people have gone as far as buying a Professional because it's so cheap, and then also buying a Mag Healy and getting the free Resonance Plus, so you end up with 2 devices and a Mag Healy, and that would be a great way to start a business. Now, is that a lot of money? Yeah, $3,000 here and $1,600 here. Once you add tax, you're probably at about $5,000. But guess what? It costs $1 million to start a McDonald's franchise. And this is a lot less risky. It's not that hard to earn back your money because when you show the Healy to people, it is so intriguing and so fascinating. They're like, how did it know that I'm dealing with that issue? That it really works. This is just showing that there's commissions on each device that you would market, and depending on what you accomplish in the month, you can earn the lower end or the higher end of the commission range here. This is how you earn free devices. But we also have a lot of other bonuses, things called mentoring and coaching bonuses, a dual bonus, rank advancement bonuses, leader pools, check matching bonuses. If you're at all familiar with network marketing, some of these might sound familiar, but it's a very lucrative and interesting compensation plan. It's pretty unique. I haven't really seen anything like it before. And as Healy continues to develop new devices and even some consumable type products and things, creating residual income, it's going to be really cool. Starting new chapters for this whole quarter until March 31st. They're doing additional bonuses for every 2 members or customers that buy a resonance or above. New members or customers, you earn an extra 150 euros, which is about $180. You also earn another free device, a Resonance Plus edition, for every 3 referrals in a calendar month. So you could do that still here in February this week, especially where you got the 60% off professional and 40% off a Resonance and Resonance Plus. You could earn multiple of these if you want. And then you could do it again in March. And there's also some pretty significant bonuses if you reach certain career ranks. And this is doable in the first month. I think, Ray, you have some people that just got started that will probably achieve director or even higher in the month of February. And so they'll receive 2,500 when they reach this director rank. And then when they reach the next rank, another 2,500. It's amazing the kind of money. It is possible to go off and make $10,000 or $20,000 your first month if you talk to a lot of people and build a team quickly. And you know people that can do that, right? You know people that are entrepreneurial. If that's not you, you know them and you would want to share this with them. And because it is network marketing, you earn something based on other people's results as well, which is really cool. Lastly, we have our group. We call us the Frequency Workshop, the downline organization team of myself and Ray and other leaders that are part of this group. It's one of the fastest growing teams in Healy. We have a lot of really cool people from different backgrounds that can help answer questions and such. We do that through a private Facebook group. You can ask questions. We have a private email list and a Telegram feed. We're building a website. We have a boards app that has all these amazing tools in one place. We do live Zoom trainings and these meetings like we're doing tonight to introduce Healy to people for you. You can refer people to this meeting on Tuesdays, or you can share the recording that will be out here within the next hour. We have live and in-person events. Ray, you're doing something in Colombia this weekend, right? A half day, 6 hours or so of training, or you can really learn how to build a business like this. One-on-one support. And guess what? All you got to do is purchase a Healy from one of our team members, and you're automatically in our team, and you can get all this kind of amazing support. And we are here to really help people not only learn how to use the Healy, but how to build a business. That is our passion. We know that Healy is going to grow from being a couple $100 million company a year to being a multi-billion-dollar company over the next few years, right, Ray? So we just figured, wow, how you wish that you had invested in Apple stock back in 1980, right? You think, oh, if I had only known. That's what this is. You don't want to be that guy 5 years from now that says, oh, I saw that presentation about the Healy. I could have gotten involved with that. Look at how huge this company is now. I could have had a piece of that. So Ray and I are thinking that way. We want to build this, and the way we're successful is to help lots of people become successful with Healy. We want to see hundreds of people get to where they're earning, 5 and 6 figure monthly type incomes, and just see this really, really grow. And the point of the financial incentive is helping us spread the word. I have a couple thousand people in my organization now that own Healys and are sharing the information that's duplicating and multiplying. And that is helping so many people through the world. So it's so cool that we get a financial incentive to help people and see their lives change. So I hope this has been helpful. Is there anything? Oh, Ray, I always forget this, but we do have financing available. Even though the professional is only $1,616, I'd recommend getting that and the coil, so it's another $225. So you're up to, I don't know, probably $1,800 or $1,900 with tax. But if that's too difficult to put on your credit card, you could always go with a lower edition, or we have financing, and it's through a company called Klarna. They're a third-party company, and they right on our checkout screen, you can check the Klarna option, and you have options of either 12 to 24 months financing. Sometimes if people have extremely good credit, they get 0% financing, but it'll basically tell you if you're approved or not almost immediately, and tell you what the interest rate and the payments would be. I mean, you could be getting this professional anecoil for under $100 a month. And as you start sharing this, you're earning a lot more than that in commissions, and you can pay it off early if you wanted to. So a lot of options. Please reach out to us, the person that told you about this, and just find out the details. And you have this week to not only get your Healy ordered at 60% off of the professional, but share that deal with as many people as you can. That's what I did. When I first heard about this, they had a deal. It wasn't this good of a deal, but they had a deal that only went to the end of the month. I signed up on May 14th. I was like, I'm going to show this to as many people as I can by the end of May. And not only did I sell several Healys, and my Healy hadn't even come in the mail, it was back ordered at that point because this was early COVID. It was crazy. But I sold a ton of Healys and even in that 2 weeks because I wanted them to get that deal. And then some of them sold Healys, and I had an organization already of dozens of people just in a couple of weeks. So that can happen for you too. You just got to get to work, and we will teach you those skills, and we will hold your hand and help you with that along the way. So Ray, why don't you tell them whatever I forgot to say or anything that you'd like to add on, and we'll say goodnight.
Well, thank you for being here this evening, everyone. And remember, you can share this with others here within about an hour, but reach back out to the person that invited you onto this call and get with them, have them do a free scan for you, and go ahead and get started and take advantage of that 14-day money back guarantee.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and good night.